Today we're talking about headphones. Welcome to Chatterbox VO. That stands for voiceover. What's up, everybody? You know those YouTubers that start their videos off like, "Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy, the Chatterbox." I don't do that. I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to say, hey, how you doing? It's me. Welcome to the Chatterbox. So for the longest time, I've had the Ath-M30Xs by Audio-Technica. I love Audio-Technica. It's a great brand. And but I had an issue. The cable that runs in here kind of zonked out on me. And so I decided to bust out my trusty soldering iron and multimeter and get down to business and see what was really janking that thing up. And I found out it was pretty simple. The speakers were fine. I did an impedance check on the speakers. They're 47 ohms, and both speakers were good. So I found out that the path was open somewhere in this. So I had to replace these little wires. I'm going to see a little closer. You see these? Those are originally black. Now they're gray. You can see that they're different now because I had to swap them out. And I couldn't find any, matching cables at Ace Hardware. So I had to get these. But oh well. The aesthetic, it kind of fits. The black, the white, the silver, a little gray. It works. But I had a big important session coming up, and I didn't know if these headphones were going to stand the test. So what I had to do was go out and buy some new headphones, and I figured I'd upgrade to the M50Xs. Look at that. Special edition. Limited edition, purple black. Oh, it's so beautiful, right? Yeah, but I was really disappointed. So these are great headphones. I'm not going to say they're not good, but for creatives, for people who are doing video and audio, for people who are editing audio and video, you need the most neutral baseline for audio. You want to have good audio, you want to have good response, but you want it to be even across the board. If you get a pair of Beats headphones, say, that really bass up and are really receptive on the low end, give you a more amped up low end, you don't want that. Because if you're listening back to yourself and you're like, "Man, my voice is super bassy. Sounds really good, yeah. I love these headphones." And you think your voice actually sounds more bassy than it really is because the headphones are ramping up the bass. You get this artificial sound coming through that makes you think that you're editing one thing, when in reality, what you're actually going to deliver to the end user, to the viewer, what they're going to hear, or for me, the casting director, they're going to hear something different than what I'm hearing with these, which is a no-no. That's a big no-no. These M30Xs are cheaper, and they may seem like, a smaller, hey, the jump up to the 50s aren't that big, but the 50s are definitely made not for monitoring headphones. I'm sorry, it says professional monitor headphones, critically acclaimed sonic performance praised by top audio engineers and pro audio reviewers. Okay, well, I'm not going to talk about, the clout of pro audio reviewers and top audio engineers, but you don't want a boosted low end unless you're a consumer. Unless you're just listening to audio from your computer, if you're gaming, if you're playing, music off your cell phones. I mean, personally, if you're going to use a mobile phone, I wouldn't use these bad boys because these things, it's a bit expensive to be walking around bobbing. Actually, that's not true. You can use these all day if you want. See, my frame of reference is that when I put headphones on for outside, 90% of the time I'm doing work or I'm exercising and I'm gunking these things up with salt from my sweat or crap from my, yard or all the work I'm doing in my garden. Like, I would not use big, expensive headphones for that. I'm going to use my small, cheap earbuds. But basically, the question is M30X or M50X. You know what? I'm returning these today. I'm going back to Ted Brown Music. Ted Brown Music, you're great. This isn't your fault. This is my fault for not doing my research beforehand. But the M30Xs, I fixed them. I fixed them myself. They work great. I'm sorry. The 50Xs don't sell me enough. See, the thing is since I'm a voiceover, since I'm a voice actor, I know my voice very well. I know what my voice does. I know what I sell. And my biggest commercial read is the conversational everyman. Hey, what's going on? I'm just a normal guy. Let's do this. Or, so I see you bought the Thingamajigger 2000. Good move. That's my sell. I don't sell the built for tough, smooth sipping whiskey. I don't have a deep, gravelly voice. I don't need that bass in my read. I don't need it at all. So I don't want headphones that are going to make me sound more bassy, that are going to make me sound more low end, because to me that's just deceptive to my own ears, and I don't want to have to remind myself that what I'm hearing is only because of my headphones. I don't want to remind myself that this isn't exactly what the casting director is going to hear, because I want that casting director on the other side to be listening back and hearing exactly what I'm editing, to hear exactly what I'm sending them. I don't want to have a disconnect on two different sides. So, unfortunately, Audio-Technica, I love you, man. Hey, come on. I mean, I'm a fanboy, but the Ath-M50Xs are not worth the upgrade from the 30s. In the future, I'm definitely going to be buying I'm definitely going to be buying the 70s, and we're going to see how those perform. From what I hear, the 30s and the 70s are more neutral across the board. I didn't realize the 50s were going to be so low-end heavy. Well, basically, it's not really just low-end heavy. It's a V pattern pickup. So along the range of, well, I guess we're inverted, so I'm going to say over here on the low end, it gets pushed up a little bit, and then when you come to the mid-range, it slopes down, and so it's a little smaller. So the mid-range is kind of, but the high range is kind of, woo, and then the low end is kind of, woo, so both ends get a little bit of a boost. And you don't want a boost, you just want neutral across the board so you know what you're editing, you know? Hey guys, I wanted to do a really quick update real fast. So I went on Amazon and I found these ear cushions, and I decided to buy them because if you saw in the beginning of this video, you know, when I showed you the 30s, you could see that the leather, the faux leather foam was super hard, super rough, you know, and that faux foam, that faux leather over time starts to deteriorate. It gets harder, and then it starts getting crunchy, and you start getting cracks in it, and eventually you start, you know, the little leather pieces start flaking off, and it just gets really hard, and it's not as comfortable. So I got these really nice memory foam pads. They're so good, they're so comfy, they make me just want to wear these things all the time, which is awesome. But I did notice one thing. So because the old cushions were really hard and these are really soft, this is actually absorbing more. So now it actually made these 30s sound a little more receptive to low end. You know, there's not as much high end, which isn't bad. I know that's why I was talking about the 50s, you know, had too much bass. This doesn't really add any bass. This just kind of makes it a little more neutral, which is pretty awesome. I'm not sure if it actually works that way. I'm just kind of assuming, because, you know, the ones before were super hard, and that causes a little more echo and reverberation. You know, it doesn't absorb that high end. As we know, foams can absorb a lot of high-end noise, but low-end noise takes a lot more mass to absorb. So that's just kind of what I'm thinking. That's just kind of my own conclusion. But these things are so comfy. You can find them, you know, at the link below. They're pretty awesome. I hope you guys like this rant. Like, subscribe, hit the buttons, hit the bells, the whistles, all that stuff. Until next time, thanks for stopping by the Chatterbox.